Imagine showing up to an important meeting after having a few alcohol drinks. Not enough to be drunk, just enough that your reaction time is slower. Your memory isn't quite as sharp, your concentration drifts. You wouldn't do that. And yet, millions of mothers return to work while functioning under a level of sleep deprivation that neuroscientists compare to low level alcohol intoxication. And then we wonder why they feel exhausted. So, yes, once you become mom, there is almost no sleep. At least what I remember, for a long time, sleep was like 2 hours, then wake up for milk or wake up for nappies, and then again 2 hours. Doesn't matter if my husband goes to do it, I also still wake up because, well, I'm mom, of course. I hear my baby even though he didn't wake up. Yeah. So let's see what the science says about our not sleeping issue. So, after about 17 to 19 hours awake, cognitive performance can resemble having a blood alcohol concentration approximately of 0.05%. After about 24 hours awake, performance may resemble approximately 0.10% BAC, blood alcohol concentration. That is above the legal driving limit in many countries. The comparison isn't perfect, yeah? But the message is that severe sleep deprivation measurably impairs brain performance. For new mothers, the issue is often not one sleepless night. It's months of fragmented sleep, and I can fully see myself in that, because first it was breastfeeding and not able to breastfeed properly. Then we introduced formula, and then he was sleeping a little bit better, but still not so good so that I would be able to sleep the full night. And then teething, magical, and then waking up just to drink a little bit water, or waking up just to hug mama because he feels lonely in his bed, and so on and so on. And yeah, many times dad is here but he is rejected because mama is mama. Yes, we love our children, but on the other side we love our sleep, and we should protect it somehow. I remember when I went back to work, and yeah, my sleeping was still not sleeping. I would drive in the morning to my workplace, and the road that I use, one of the rural roads, has a small river just beside the road. And often I would think, I hope I will not fall asleep while driving, because if I end up sleeping, there is a high possibility that my car will go into water, and what will happen then? And my brain started to think about the options. How can you get out of the car once the car starts floating on the water? So this is how far my sleeping issue went, because I started to think that I will have some sort of incident on the road and that I will fall asleep while driving. So sleeping deprivation is so important, and I want to encourage you to talk about that on your one-on-one meetings. Tell your managers, your directors, that you don't sleep well, and that sometimes in the morning you need 1 or 2 extra hours to sleep, and if possible, could you use those time to sleep and not to go to work immediately in the morning if you can come to work a little bit later, if you can have that flexibility, talk to them about these kind of issues, because it's really, really important. I mean, what could happen with me if I fell asleep? What can happen with you while you have to drive? Unfortunately, not all of us can work from home, and not all of us have flexible hours. Some of us have very, very strict hours, and a lot of countries after the COVID, they wanted to go back at the office because they didn't like going to work. I mean, they didn't like working from home. So they want to push and focus on working in the office, but this is kinda difficult once you don't sleep the way you should. I can tell you, I really, really need at least 8 hours of high quality sleep. And with the small children, no, I don't get it. And again, my husband is here, yes, but my child prefers mom. So many things happen in your brain once you don't sleep enough. One of them is working memory, holding information in your mind. And how can you see it? Is like when you go to the fridge, open the fridge, and you forget what you wanted to take. I mean, we have so many similar examples. You go in a bathroom to get a shampoo or empty bottle of shampoo. This is the goal, yeah, of going to the bathroom. But once you open the door of the bathroom, you have no idea what you want to get there. The other thing is executive function. So planning and prioritizing. You can see it when feeling overwhelmed by task you could previously organize easily. So you could manage a lot of appointments. Like when you have children, you have a lot of doctor appointments, a lot of dentist, orthodontist, whatever. The magic, the umbrella of appointments is here, and you could manage them all. Now it's let's say way more difficult. The other thing what is happening when you don't sleep well is attention. So the example here is that you have to read the same email 3 times and you still don't understand what's going on there. You see it very often when you come back after your maternity leave. It's very, very difficult to focus on something. And yes, you can be drinking coffees, but coffees often don't help. Then you go with healthier versions, so you drink just water. But water also don't help a lot in the case when you don't sleep enough. We have also the emotional regulation. We see it when we want to cry because someone moved a meeting. Yeah, ladies, do you have that? You see the meeting should be at midday, yeah, but someone moved the meeting at 2 p.m. and you want to cry because of that. Why? Not because this meeting was moved to another time, but because you already in your mind had a plan. What are you going to do that time at that 2 p.m. Maybe you wanted to have your 5 minutes of peace and quiet with coffee, and this is actually why you are crying. Yeah, it's not that you are missing the meeting to be at midday. No, it's about your plan, what you wanted to do, how you wanted to protect yourself and your happy state of mind. For STEM and corporate mothers, it looks like this. Before motherhood, you could hold 10 project inputs and outputs in your head simultaneously. Now, after motherhood, you can still do that, plus vaccination appointments, plus daycare schedule, plus pumping session, plus baby clothes, plus sleep regressions plus grocery orders plus pediatrician follow-ups, right? The issue isn't reduced intelligence, it is increased cognitive load. So you should know that your brain has limited working memory, and motherhood adds dozens of ongoing background processes. You should think of it like running 20 browser tabs permanently open. The computer will still be working, but performance goes slower. So, what to do regarding cognitive load offloading and what it is exactly? First of all, you should externalize everything. Stop relying on your memory. Use task managers, reminders, calendar blocks, shared family calendars, sticky notes, notebooks, whatever possible. Just share it somewhere instead holding everything in your brain. Yeah, if high performing executives already do that, mothers should also. Second thing is reduce decision fatigue. Many successful mothers simplify wardrobes, meal planning, grocery shopping, and this isn't laziness, this is just resource management. In this series, I am not going to go deeper in meal planning and wardrobes, but in the next series I will share with you how I handle my wardrobes and how I handle my laundry, that everyone has their task regarding that, and what do I do to organize our meals and our lunches, dinners day by day. Then create family operating system, shared responsibilities, share calendars, share routines. The family has to become a team rather than one person acting as the project manager. That one person is you. You understood that, right? So if you have multiple children, give them the tasks. They should have choices also. I know once, it was a few months ago, we went on a meeting with a teacher, my son and myself. So since my son has choices, and I noticed that his friends are always available to play, and it looks like they don't have choices at all. So I asked teacher like this: is it normal that children this age, he's a preteen, is children this age have the choices at home? And she took some time to think about it, and she answered me like this: well, in here in our village, it's not so normal, because it looks like moms are doing everything for their children, their sons, because like we were mostly talking about my son and his friends. So she told me like that in our village this is not really normal. But then she looked at my son and she told him like this: if you were my son, you would have tasks and choices every single day. It would be or something with the laundry, your part of laundry and your clothes folding or something, or it will be helping with the beans, or it would be emptying the dishwasher. Something would be every day. So think about it. We are not really abusing our children if we want them to help us, even though we want to give our children the happiest childhood possible. Think about that they should also learn some responsibility through this. The next thing is to protect your deep work. That means that you should try to schedule technical work, strategic thinking and analysis early in the morning when your brain works properly. If that is early in the morning, so the most difficult things try to handle when you feel that you are ready, when your brain is fresh. Lower the memory burden. Use checklist, because why not? At your workplace you are using checklist, so same as you do it at your workplace, you can do it for home, and for your tasks at home, as performed something, check, sign and date, you did it, so go on the next task and on the next step. Pilots are using that, surgeons are using that, and also mothers, why not? If that will help you, use it. So let's talk about the other thing here. This will be kind of long video, but it's very important. The next thing I would like to address here is, does it get better, and when does it get better? So this is probably the question every mother wants answered, and the frustrating answer is that it depends. But we do know some patterns. First 3 to 6 months are usually the most intense sleep disruption, especially if breastfeeding. Around 6 to 12 months, many babies begin sleeping for longer stretches. Many mothers report improved concentration, right, together with that, because you get a little bit more sleep. Around 12 to 24 months, sleep becomes more stable for many families. Brain fog often decreases significantly. So yes, sometimes you just have to go through this period of survival mode, because it's nothing else but survival mode. You just have to cope one day, day by day, until it's done. Here is also worth to mention that some women continue experiencing sleep disruption, anxiety, and cognitive overload well beyond infancy. Why and how it comes? Well, it comes if you have multiple children, if you have demanding careers, if you have little support in your life, or persistent sleep issues. So yes, sometimes it is difficult, and sometimes this period will still be a little bit longer. Back to the brain fog, and let's ask yourself this question. If a senior executive came to work every day functioning at the cognitive level of someone who hadn't slept properly for months, would we call them lazy? Or would we recognize that they need support? So, new mothers deserve the same understanding. For a long time, I thought brain fog meant I wasn't performing at the level I used to. Well, what eventually I learned is that my brain wasn't broken. It was adapting to one of the most demanding periods of my life. Sleep deprivation is real, and you should also know that. Please take care of yourself.